Hello everybody! Today we're going to unbox and take a close-up look at the Havit Quiet LED backlit keyboard, do a key press test and then plug it in and see it light up. So let's first take a look around the outside of the box. So in this box is a Havit Quiet keyboard with multifunction keys and LED backlighting. So the model number is KB488L and this one has a UK layout. Now let's open up the box by, of course, pulling out the box tab that's keeping the box flap closed and lifting up that box flap to reveal the keyboard inside. Let's slide or wiggle that keyboard out and just checking through, making sure nothing else is left behind in the cardboard box packaging. We can set that box on the right hand side of the frame and just laying out the contents from the Havit Quiet LED backlit keyboards box packaging, just setting the contents across the tabletop so you can see all the items that are included with this keyboard. So right there are the contents of the Havit Quiet LED backlit keyboards box packaging. Now let's start off by first taking a look at this card. So there is a card here. So it is a customer support and contact details for Havit. And of course warranty information as well. So it comes with an 18-month warranty or 1.5-year warranty. So repositioning that keyboard in the middle, we can now move on to the user's manual or user guide. So right there is the thickness of the booklet, and just taking a quick look at the back as well. And now let's open it up or spread it open. So it does spread out across 4 panels or 4 pages, front as well as back. So let's take a look at the details right there for this Havit Quiet LED backlit keyboards details in the user manual. So it does have multifunction keys which operate with the function and F key combinations. So there are a list of the functions there or commands. And taking a look at the reverse side. And the details are covered in Japanese on the reverse side. Okay, so those are the details contained within the user manual for the Havit Quiet LED backlit keyboard KB488L. Now let's go ahead and slide the sleeve or protective packaging from the keyboard to reveal the keyboard. So now giving you a nice clear look at the keyboard, you can see that it is in black and does come with an integrated or built-in wrist rest. So it does measure 44.5 centimeters across, 17.5 centimeters deep, and in terms of thickness it is 2.75 centimeters thick. So those are the dimensions of this keyboard: 44.5 across, 17.5 deep, and 2.75 centimeters thick. Okay, so taking a close-up look, this keyboard has a UK layout and has 105 keys. So it's just giving you a look at the keys of this keyboard right there. And of course, the overall details as well. So taking a look at the back side of the keyboard, we can see some possibly drainage holes in case you have any spillage. I assume they are drainage hose. And then we do have 2 flip down feet there, or risers, to lift the keyboard up. So giving you a look as to the height that razor does provide, and of course giving you a close-up look at the details at that keyboard label on the underside. So right there, giving you a full view of this Havit quiet LED backlit keyboard. And just to give you some idea of the size, as I mentioned already, the dimensions are 44.5 centimeters long, 17.5 centimeters deep, and then 2.75 centimeters thick. So just to give you some idea of scale of this keyboard, I'm just going to rest my hand on top of it right there, and of course placing both hands in the standard typing position. And now giving you a close-up look once again, but this time around in much more detail and a bit slower. So you have a nice, good, thorough look at the design of this keyboard. So giving you a look right there, the thickness. So it does have a matte black finish, as you can see, with a very low sheen. And you can see that the keys do have a concave design to them, with rounded corners. And of course, the multi-function keys across the top, from F1 through to F12. So they do control music playback, volume, mute, of course, previous and next tracks, play, pause, stop, and of course some multi-function controls such as your web browser, email, my computer, and favorites. So those function keys work with Windows PCs. And once again, giving you a nice detailed look around at this Havit HB or KB488L keyboard, which is the quiet LED backlit keyboard. As I mentioned, this one is the UK layout. As you can see on the number 3, it does have the pound sign, and this one comes with 105 keys, and you can see the Havit branding on the bottom right corner of the wrist rest. So right there, giving you a nice detailed look. So now let's do a key press test by doing some mock typing. So you can hear that the keyboard keys do produce a very low noise to the key presses, but this time around giving you a much closer up look and pressing on the keys to give you the idea or sound that they produce when pressed, and of course the actuation and response of those key presses as well. So as you can hear, they produce very little noise. And in terms of the pads on the underside, as you can see, there are 4 or 2 long pads or little strips towards the front section of the keyboard to prevent it from slipping, and it does a fairly decent job of staying in place, as you can see, or maybe not, that it does try and stay in position. Okay, so now let's just make sure that on the underside, with the feet or risers flip down or to provide a little bit more height, it does still slide somewhat, so those pads aren't very grippy at all, but nonetheless it is a quiet keyboard with those multi-function F1 to F12 keys that work with the function key at the bottom, so function combination with any of those F1 through to F12 keys. Okay, and of course, not forgetting the cable as well. So of course this is a wired keyboard. Let's undo the cable tie, which I usually do first to show the USB connector or plug, but this time around we're doing it a little bit later. So taking a look at the USB plug, as you can see, a USB type A plug, standard USB. Right there. And in terms of cable length, as listed on the box's product specification details, this cable measures 1.5 meters long, so 1.5 meters long, for this Havit quiet LED backlit keyboard KB488L. Okay, now let's go ahead and of course plug in that USB plug and see the keyboard light up. So the USB plug has been plugged in. I have to hit its scroll lock key to turn the LED on. It's right there, giving you a look at this LED keyboard with multi-function keys as well as the quiet key operation. So giving you a close-up look at the scroll lock key, which was required to turn on the LED backlight, and you can see that the lights not only surround the back of the keys but also shine through the text of each of the symbols and text of the keys. And the scroll lock is in a very bright red color, and of course tapping on the scroll lock does turn off the LED backlight, so giving you a look right there, on and off, on, off. So by design, it might not be very intuitive to have that scroll lock linked to the LED backlight, but nonetheless, this is how the keyboard has been made. So setting the keyboard down and giving you a full view there with my hands and fingers out of the way. And let me just neaten up that 1.5 meter long USB cable so you can see right there in clear view this Havit quiet LED backlit keyboard with its multicolored LED backlight. So it looks like it only has that static LED backlight, no other mode or effects for this LED backlit keyboard. However, just giving you a close-up look at that very nice coloring right across on this quiet LED backlit keyboard with multifunction keys and that integrated wrist rest as well. So right there, a full-size keyboard, 105 keys in the UK layout. So trying to give you a more thorough look at this keyboard. Now with the backlit LED turned on and letting all its colors shine through on each of those keys. And of course I'm going to press on the caps lock just to give you that idea of that very bright red status indicator for each of those keys right there. It might appear slightly paler in the video, but I can assure you that it is a very bright red on each of those keys. And with that scroll lock linked to that LED functionality for those keys right there. So scroll lock turns it off and on to toggle the LED backlighting for this keyboard. So just giving you a look once again. Up close and in detail, you can see that the colors do actually come through on the keys themselves, not just around the back or surrounds of the keys. And now let's do, of course, a key press test up close. Now that we do have the keyboard turned on with the LED backlight on as well. So right there, just pressing away, giving you some idea as to the sound or noises that this quiet keyboard does generate. So very low noise. And right there, setting it back down to give you a nice full view. And let's do a mock typing test or demo again. And up close as well, once again. So that's the Havit Quiet LED Backlit Keyboard. Thanks for watching and happy typing!